Hello guys, I wanted to update you about my pregnancy. So last time I updated you, I think it was 28 weeks or 29 weeks, and well, I had a short cervix, so I didn't make a video about my 30-week pregnancy update because there was a lot of things happening because of my short cervix, and then I ended up delivering my baby about 5 days after my mucus plug broke. So it was like, I think around 28 weeks. I think I lasted one more week. And then around 30 weeks is when I delivered my baby. 30 weeks and 2 days. So what basically ended up happening was if you watch my other videos, you can see that they had me on bed rest, strict bed rest. So I was on strict bed rest. I was on nifedipine, and that would stop the contraction so the baby stayed, inside me, because my body was pushing baby out. So they gave me nifedipine. I would take it, and I would stay on strict bed rest. So I was in the bed most of the time. Well, all of the time, actually, not most of the time, all the time, except for the doctor's appointments. But then something happened around, I guess, a week after I made the video, and my mucus plug broke, and that was on a Friday, I think. Thursday or Friday, my mucus plug broke. I woke up in the morning and I went to go pee, do my normal everyday thing, I wake up in the morning to go pee, just to go pee, right? And so then I wet myself, and there was like this brownish discharge. And I was like, okay, what's this? And I'm like, okay, it might be nothing. So then I went back to bed, fell asleep again, and then I woke up again, and there was, again, like a brownish discharge. So I was like, okay, I'm freaking out. I probably should go to the doctor. Even though I didn't want to go to the doctor, I was like, I don't want to go again, because all this walking is going to, like, not mess up, but, like, have her come out. But so I went to the doctor, and then she saw me, and she's like, okay, I'm going to admit you to the hospital because your mucus plug broke. And so I was slowly, like, coming out, so then she sent me to the hospital on strict bed rest, and I was there, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night was when my water broke. And I was there on strict bed rest, still laying in bed. They brought me food and everything. My husband was there. And when my water broke, I didn't know my water had broken because I laughed super hard, and then I just felt like a gush of water, warm water, and I was like, I think my water broke. So what they did in that moment, I was 30 weeks, and they lifted my bottom up to keep the water inside me, so the baby still has water, So they didn't know what to do with me that night, so they just lifted my bottom up, and I was like, water was coming out, so they lifted my bottom up until the nurses figured out what they had to do. So then they kept me like that, and then they just lowered me down after they told the doctor that my OBGYN that my water had broken. So then they lowered me down, and then they put a pad underneath me, and then they're like, okay, it's fine, it's okay, just, the water's gonna keep coming out, just stay laying down there. I'm like, okay, I'm like, how do I have to go pee? And they're like, we just lift your bottom up and bring a pad. It's very weird. But that's how my water broke at 30 weeks, I think, in a day. And on Sunday night is when my water broke. And Sunday night, they didn't know what to do with me. So Monday morning, they went ahead, and there was some specialist that came in that talked to me. She spoke to me. She told me that they were going to put me on magnesium, and then they were going to transfer me to the labor room, to the labor section, because there was no need to keep the baby inside if the baby wanted to come out. So they had been trying, my doctor had been trying to keep her inside me with nifedipine and strict bed rest, and it just, at the end, it didn't work out. And they said, well, it's time for her to come out. We can't keep her inside you because, like, she wants to come out. We've done everything. The doctors basically say we've done everything we can to keep her inside you. But now, even with the medications to stop the contractions, she's still coming out. So she's going to come out either way. So you might as well deliver you. So that morning, she told me, one of the specialists came in, and she told me that they were going to put me on magnesium, and magnesium was going to help the baby develop. And she told me all the risks that the baby could have being delivered at 30 weeks. and, you know, not being fully developed. And one of the things that caught my eye was cerebral palsy, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want that to happen to my baby. So I'm like, okay, just do whatever you have to do with me. So that Monday, they transferred me to the labor room, and then they put me on magnesium. I was on magnesium, and it felt really, really, really cold. It's supposed to develop the baby's brain, so by the time she comes out, she's a little bit more developed. And I had already had the steroid shots 2 weeks before. If you see my other videos of my my other updates, I already had like mostly everything done to me. They also tested me the fetal fibronectin test, like that. I don't know, like I had it done, and they said I wasn't going to deliver, but I ended up delivering. So they sent me back to the hospital. But anyways, back on topic. So they sent me to the labor room. They put me on magnesium, and it was really, really cold, and I was just puking, like it was just terrible. And I did have the epidural, and the epidural, like it kind of hurt me, but I mean, towards the end, I just felt pressure down there, which was good. Because the beginning, when you start having contractions, like it hurts you really, really, really bad. And I tried to withstand it and try to go the natural way. And I was like, no, I can do this. And I was talking to myself, pushing myself, you know, to keep going, but I just couldn't. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll have the epidural. And then I asked one of the nurses, do you have any, like, is there any side effects of it? Like, you know, she's like, no, I already had a kid and there's no side effects. And I mean, to now, like, sometimes I get like a sharp pain in my back because of the epidural. I mean, I guess there is side effects, and I thought there was going to be miraculously no side effects, but there is side effects. To me, there was a side effect. Like when I bend my back, like sometimes, not all the times, like I can bend it right now, but sometimes in certain moments, like it just doesn't hurt. It just like kind of like a pinch, which is kind of odd, but that's the side effect of the epidural. But yeah, at that time, I got the epidural, and I kept having contractions, and then I ended up delivering at 6 in the morning. So at the time of delivery, of course, they keep telling you to push, and they had everything prepared because my baby was premature. So they just grab her. So what they do is they grab her and they try to put her on me, and I was too scared to touch her because I thought I was going to get bacteria on her or something from the outside world, and I don't want her exposed to because she's premature, right? So I was like, oh no, I don't want to touch her. That was my experience with my delivery. I was like, no, I don't want to touch her. And they put her on here, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I kind of touched her a little bit, but not that much. And I told them, I don't want to expose her to any bacteria. So then they took her, and then they left with my husband to the NICU. So then they did all they had to do there with her, and I was there in the room all by myself, just waiting and waiting. I was there for an hour. So after delivery, just me being there laying down, everybody's gone. Like, one nurse comes in just to grab some stuff, and then everybody's like gone. And so what happened to me is I was panting. It was weird. Of course, it's my first baby. Like, after you have a baby, you pant, and it's just you like panting like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, why am I shaking? Why am I panting? And I called the nurse. She's like, no, that's normal after having a baby. I'm all like, okay. So then the first thing I did was I ate an orange. I ate an orange because I wanted an orange. I was really, really hungry. I hadn't eaten, and I really wanted an orange. But anyways, so yeah, after you have a baby, you pant. It just is kind of weird. You know, like your body does it by itself. Like you're not aware of it, but your body does it by itself. It's just weird. So my husband came back on topic, and he told me, you know, like that she was already set up. She was in an incubator, and she had an IV in her, and she had a ventilator on her. So I went to go see her the day after. Oh wait, after you have a baby, they transport you to postpartum, and then there they help you get up. The nurses help you get up. You go to the restroom, and then you're like bleeding, like a lot. So what they do is they give you like this cooling pad, and then this cooling pad and like this underwear type of diaper pad. And then they put it on you. Well, they're there to help you, and they put it on you. And they're like, okay, you're okay. And then they give you witch hazel pads so you can wipe yourself if you tore. In my case, I didn't tear. My baby was born at 3 pounds, 6 ounces. And so the good thing that my doctor told me is that I kept pushing, and I kept pushing, that I didn't stop. Because if I would have stopped, maybe the doctor would have had to cut me. But the thing is that I kept pushing and I kept pushing. So you have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing for, so you won't tear. But then again, I had a baby who was 3 pounds, so maybe that's why I didn't tear either. But yeah, the nurses help you, um, you know, tend to yourself down there, and then they tell you, you should rest, go to sleep. They bring you breakfast. After that, I just knocked out to like 6 p.m. It was around 6 in the morning. I knocked out to like 6 p.m. I woke up. And so the next day, I was still resting that whole day. So the next day, I went to go see her at NICU, and then I saw her, and I just started crying because she was so tiny, and she had a ventilator in her mouth, and they had like this weird blanket strap on her, and she was like this. She was like with the little ventilator here, and she was like the little blanket strap, so she doesn't move her hand and grab the ventilator. So I started crying because it's my first child, and I see her in an incubator, and it's just really, really, really sad that other mothers get to go home with their babies, and I have to, my baby's in an incubator, and I can't touch her. I can't hold her because, there's risks. So that was my experience with having my baby premature at 30 weeks. They didn't tell me, they just told me everything was protocol for what they had done to her, like the ventilator so she could breathe, so she could have help breathing on her own. And what else did she have? The IV she had an IV on her. So that's what she had on her at the beginning. And it was just really, really scary because she just had a lot of things on her. So she was in the NICU for about a month or two, and that was a lot of going to the hospital and back every single day. The thing that the hospital was near us, so we could go and come back and go and come back and go and come back. And I guess I'll probably make another video about, no, I guess I'll talk about it in this video about NICU. Like NICU, what they have you do is they have you, they promote breastfeeding to your baby, because your baby's premature. Your baby needs, your breast milk, because they call it like superpower, super milk. It helps them develop. And I think that's one of the reasons my baby came home early with me, and like in months she came home, because the whole time she was there I fed her breast milk. So I pumped and I pumped, and I would take the breast milk, and I pumped and I would take the breast milk. They give you bottles so you can, put the breast milk in. And what you do is they give you like a little freezer bag. When one of the lactation consultants gave me a little freezer bag and a little ice pack to put the milk in, so if I'm on the go, like it'll be frozen. So then you take it to the nurse, and they give it to your baby once your baby starts to learn how to feed. My baby didn't start to learn how to feed like till 2 weeks later. They started teaching her, but first they did the tube. They had like a tube in her nose where they would feed her. That was, I guess, the second stage of her being okay. They took off the ventilator within 2-3 days. She could breathe on her own. She still had the IV in her, but she had a tube so she could be fed. So then they fed her the breast milk through the tube. So that's my story with her being in the NICU. And I have more information on it. I just don't know what to put on this video, but I can make another video about NICU if you want me to, so you all can know what it's like, or if you have any questions, I can, answer to you what it's like to have a baby in the NICU or something. But so far, my 30-week pregnancy update was I delivered, and my baby, of course, was born at 30 weeks and 2 days, and right now she's perfectly healthy. She's fine, except for she had a little heart murmur, and she has holes in her heart, which is okay for babies who are premature because they're still developing. So she has heart murmur, holes in her heart, and she has some substance in the back of her eye that should go away at the time of her due date. But those people who have a short cervix, like, don't be too scared. I had my baby at 30 weeks, and she's perfectly fine. She was in the NICU. I fed her breast milk, and she's good. So this is a video for people who have a short cervix and think that they might deliver this is my story of what happened to me at 30 weeks and 2 days, with my delivery. So I mean, it's okay right now. She's fine. She's okay, except she just has to go to all these specialists, like her heart specialist, her lung specialist, her eye specialist, her ophthalmologist. Of course, she has her pediatrician. But yeah, her heart, eyes, and lungs, and of course, her pediatrician who checks her. But yeah, she's good right now. She's doing well. So if you have any questions about NICU or like how it was throughout NICU, I can totally make another video about it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't be scared if you have a short cervix. I know it's terrifying and you might be on bed rest, strict bed rest. But I had my baby at 30 weeks and 2 days, and she got taken off to NICU, and right now, I mean, I gave her breast milk. The doctors did whatever they did, to help her develop, and she's healthy right now. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit subscribe if you want to watch another video. If you want me to talk about NICU, or how is it going taking care of a newborn from NICU, if you want. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Bye.